Portland wasn't anything like, it was just a dump, you know. But my father drove the most beautiful horses, and my father, we always had a racehorse. Springstein was our horse. Springstein, and my dad had a two-wheeled cart, was about like that. And he'd come from work, the seat was about that big. And my dad had come from work, and he'd have to take the Springstein was the horse's name. And he'd have to go find a racetrack that he could turn the horse loose for so many blocks or something. And when I think of it now, it was road. You know what I was saying when I say you could go to Marylhurst? That road, that was nothing but a low-down dirt road. And my dad would let me sit in him, the seats that big. And I'd sit right there, and I'd have my hand in Dad's coat pocket. And I'd sit there, and the horse's name was Springstein. Springstein, most beautiful horse.
Well, did he race?
And my dad,
he used to go to the races?
Well, that silver cup on the piano.
Oh.
Look at that silver cup. That's a race. That's one of the races. See the silver cup?
Yeah. Let's see here.
I tell you, you could fill 10 books. I could fill you with, yeah. And I was with my dad when he won this race. I would ride. I'd go on Sunday morning with my dad, and he'd leave me out at the where the men could sit if you're going to watch the races, you know. And then the horse's name was Springstein. Yeah, that needs to be. We're just so delicate with that bottom there, because if you look the second time, it might fall off. And that thing's over 100 years old now, so that's a prize, precious to anything in this whole house. Nothing comes up to
the 240 Trot.
Yeah.
Oregon Progressive Alliance 240
Yes,
Trot
that was
matinee
my
races.
The racehorse.
Riverside Driving Club.
Yeah. And then
Well, it says 1904.
Yes. 1900. And then Dad, lots of times when we'd go out from here, go down from my house on 21st and Hoyt, and go and take the road to Marylhurst, which is Marylhurst, right now, a dirt road, and I would take me and the cart, Dad sitting on a cart, just this big, and I'm real little, and I'm like this, and I've got my hand in my dad's pocket. My dad and I were the closest of friends, like this, and my dad just says one word to the horse, and we're off to the races. We're going like hell. The road out to Marylhurst. But the road to Marylhurst only went so far because none of the other road was ever built. But there I would be like this, just like this.
Was that a first place prize you won?
Huh?
That was a first place cup?
Well, this was the real race. It was the 4th of July, and it was on, I'll tell you, you go from here to town. You go over here about 8 blocks.
Well, it wasn't a racetrack, it was like a course?
Yes. Oh, it was a real racetrack, clear out to 24th and something from about 6th Street. It was solid. Yeah, and I went out that thing lickety-cut with my dad, time and time and time again. Went with my dad on Sunday. We'd come from Mass. Dad get Springstein the horse.
Did they used to bet on the horses?
Huh?
Did they used to bet on the horses?
Well, there were other horses. They were all having races out there.
Or they put money down on them, or what?
Oh, no.
No?
But that silver cup that where is it?
Back on the piano.
Well, that silver cup was the race that particular Sunday. And my mother and I and the kids, we were all there at the races, sat in the balcony. So our horse, my dad drove the horse, the races. Boy, I could tell you a million things.
Well, tell me.
And that really was just that racehorse business.
How long did he have the horse?
And then,
Graham, how long did he have the horse?
well, that went on to 5 or 6 years. And my dad drove the horse and the little race buggy to work and home every night from school. And lots of times after supper, he'd take one of us kids with him, and we'd go to a racetrack, which is, then was, everything's built up. Now, it's different now. I couldn't show you any one place now that was at that time, because they weren't 1/100th of the streets that you could look out here and see. This place wasn't even, nobody knew this place was part of the earth in those days.